listening to The Sizzle on Iron Skillet Radio and Iron Skillet Television.
But, I mean, you got like Keegan Murray, stiff, but an amazing player. He's somebody you got Jabari Smith, slight, good player, but somebody you can't say, oh, I'm going to get Jabari Smith and he's going to be the future of my franchise. And then you got Chet Holmgren. Okay. Enough said. You got Chet Holmgren, you got Jaden Ivey, Jabari Smith. Now, Paulo at Duke, I don't know if it's Duke or it's him. I'm still kind of I got the yips about all Duke players. That's just me. I'm just saying when I see a Duke player, I'm not thinking to myself, this is a franchise player that I want to have in my life.
All these system guys, are you thinking?
Well, I'm just saying, man. Hey, since Grant Hill, name me a great Duke player.
We thought we had one. We thought we had one until he got on the motorcycle up here with the with the Bulls.
He thought he was great.
We thought we had one of it.
He was a great motorcycist.
He still thinks he's one. If you listen to him on the television,
he had a good rookie year.
You know, yeah,
he had a good 1 year. He had a good 1 year.
That's about what that's the life of a Duke player. He has a good year.
That's interesting how you bring up your prospects and your prodigies. Let me go with you on this. So the low five teams now: Houston, Detroit, Orlando, the Pacers, and the Thunder. And I bring the Thunder last because I like that point guard that they have. And I feel like they may just need to put players around him and let the offense flow through him. Some of those power forwards that you mentioned, they may be slow, they may be groggy, but they could complement somebody like him very well. And you could build something of decent potential with a player like that. Just throwing that out there as a little tidbit. Now, these other teams, you're talking about, especially like Houston, they just need to hit the complete reset button. You need a home run hit on that one. I think they're probably going to be first, second, or third, depending on how the ball rolls. So yeah, they need that help. But there's some teams in that bottom list that already have good players you can develop around. You don't necessarily always need the next Michael Jordan or the next LeBron James. You just need a really good player that can play well with somebody else.
Well, one of the things I'm looking at when I look at this whole grouping of young people, and maybe that's just what we've turned into as sports consumers, I don't see, and you tell me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, I don't see a great player in this tournament. I don't see a player that's a transitional player that says he transitions and he is a step above. He's the guy that when you say my team is going to be good with him for the next 10 years, I don't see that right now in the NCAA. And maybe it's a function of this NCAA. Maybe it's a function of players playing overseas now, going to the G League. I don't see that one guy that makes me say he's the transcendent player that I can put my franchise on for the next 10, 15 years or 10, 15 weeks.
That's easy, fair enough to say. You also got COVID to blame for that. But
interesting point. Never thought about COVID as it played in the greater scheme of things. But I just don't, and maybe it's just the way that this is all falling out. The tournament to me is always that proving ground where you find a great player, someone that you hadn't thought about before. That's how you have a Damian Lillard. You didn't know anything if you weren't from his area. You didn't know about Lillard. You didn't know about Kawhi. You had no idea unless you knew these players and you really researched them. But as a general population, I don't think anybody knew about them until the tournament. Then once you get to the tournament, you say, okay, that's that kid. That's that guy. I haven't seen that yet. And if I'm wrong, just let me know. I could be wrong. But I don't think we've seen that yet.
No, I don't think you're wrong.
Jay, do you know any? Where are you, Jay? What are you doing?
I'm here. Have I
He
left?
drifted off.
It's just like, wow. It's just like,
Uh,
the hell
He
with these
used all
kids.
that fire talking
Well,
bad about Patrick Williams. He's mellowed out
sorry,
now.
yeah, he actually he was texting me. So what was the question? No, I don't think there's anybody right now that you say this is going to be him. You know, you might have a guy who's not draft eligible to make the tournament. You know, you're looking at a guy who might be transitional in the NBA. If you put some weight on, that's going to be Imani Bates. If it's weight on, just because of his skill set and the way he's able to handle the ball and shoot the outside jumper. But as you say, you don't. But then too, did we see? Meaning a few years back, did we see the former Murray State guard, John Morant? Did we think he was going to be what he is now in the NBA? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of it,
I did.
I'm just thinking a lot of it has to do with development in the league and how hard guys work. I think part of it is that, you know, even rookie money, you get shoe money, rookie money, you get a couple of deals coming in, all of a sudden your guy who was eating, you know, ramen noodles and McDonald's on a regular basis, and all of a sudden now you're driving, you know, you're driving a Ferrari and you know, you can eat whatever you want to. I think sometimes guys just don't stay hungry, and I think that's what you see a lot of times in the NBA right now. These guys just get too much money from them. Even those small contracts that these guys are getting coming in, not as small compared to the big money guys. There's still enough money where you can kick your feet up on the couch and go, nah, I don't think I'm gonna go work out today. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what separates the great ones from the good ones. And I think that's what you see a lot of guys happen. I'm wondering if, you know, if Weissman is like that, or if he's just a guy who peaked and this is it. I don't care how hard he works, he ain't gonna get no better. You know, you get some guys peak early. You know what I'm saying? That was it. That's just the best they're ever gonna be. And the NBA is difficult, man. I mean, you guys know. I mean, it is not easy being an NBA basketball player by no. I believe making it an NBA is probably one of the toughest things to do in pro sports. Just because you got to have all the tools working for you. You have to be special to play in the NBA. And I include Patrick Williams in that. I guarantee you, if you saw him play, you saw his game, you'd be, oh my God. How is this big guy moving that fast, jumping that high, and doing the things that he does? But compared to other great athletes like that, you know, you wonder, is he going to be the cream that's going to rise to the top? And that's the hard part about the NBA. And like you said, right now, Rich, I think you said it best. You won't know until they get to the league. You know what I'm saying? You won't know what they're going to do. Because it's hard to figure out.
They were talking about Brian Scalabrine. And they dogged him out, the worst player in the league, or whatever.
The white Mamba.
Yeah. And then he went out in the streets and he was like, well, to you, I'm about to be the next Michael Jordan. And
Absolutely.
he put on a show on them boys.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you were absolutely right. That was relevant 20 years ago. So like I said, the caliber of athleticism now is you're definitely spot on with that.
And I think Scalabrine just did that to somebody. I think he's up in his 40s now. And he just gave a couple of guys a business at the same time, and he was in his 40s. Yeah. So these guys, these elite athletes, man, you know, it's hard to shine when all the stars are bright, you know. And so kudos to anybody who gets into the league. But I guess we just won't know. But again, I'm going back to Arizona. I think Arizona is making it through. Mm-hmm. And I just believe, man, I think I want St. Peter's to get there, you know, just one more time. So, you know, because it'll be nice if they make it to the Elite Eight. That means that we get to hear one shining moment, and you know, and then Luther they'll be in the rejoin somewhere.
Make sure that you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Iron Skillet Sports. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to Iron Skillet Sports on YouTube.